right, the power finish India would have wanted. They got 27 in the last two, 184 after being put into bat first, and Virat Kohli continuing now what is clearly an emphatic return to form. 3 half centuries in 4 innings in this World Cup, the leading run scorer now in the history of T20 World Cups. At half time, this is Maruti Suzuki presents ESPN Cricket for T20 time, where we look back at that innings and its fine moments with Robin Uthappa and Tom Moody. You take that 184 if you're India?
Yeah, for sure. It's a great score. I think especially in the last 2 overs to get about 27 runs is fantastic.
Virat Kohli's innings. Take me through that.
Yeah, look, I thought it was a good innings. He had it was a bit of a playbook for Virat Kohli, wasn't it? He had KL Rahul at the beginning of that innings, taking off and batting beautifully, and allowed Kohli to do his usual thing, build that strong foundation to his game, and then we saw Sky do his thing, come and get 2 runs every ball. He's just phenomenal the way he goes about it, and I think not only us but everyone watching gets so disappointed when he gets out because you just don't know what's coming next with his stroke play. And then it's a bit like what we talked about yesterday with Kane Williamson.
Yes.
Then he presses the button, Kohli, and he's got the gears to be able to go from that sort of first and second gear where he's building to suddenly shoot himself ahead of the game, and he's done that well throughout this World Cup. So, he again finds himself right at the end, making sure that the Indian team get the maximum score.
Yeah, it's such a unique situation for a batter. I'm not sure it's a comfortable one because you're 32 of 29 that Kohli was today, and you think if you get out any time now, then you're looking at that innings and saying, oh, have you put the team behind? Could you have done more? He ends 64 of 44, so he's got 32 of the next 15. Now, is that something that you just back yourself when time is good and it'll work off? Was that really a dangerous sort of innings to play?
No, he's done it day in and day out in T20 cricket for so long that it's right up his alley, to be honest. And he knows how to do this, and that's his playbook. Honestly, that's how he succeeded in T20 cricket, and he does that so well up to 35. But he goes up to there almost a little over a runner ball, and then from there he kind of kicks on and hits the accelerator and finishes very strong. Even I remember that a season where he got 400s in the IPL. This is exactly how he played it. Initially, he'd take his time, get in, and then the last 10 overs or the last 15-20 balls, he scores a lot of runs.
Yeah, I guess this is Kohli's game then, Tom, and perhaps this is what we, like you say, we expect out of Williamson. Do we also expect it out of Rohit Sharma? Perhaps if he tries to play this way, he might be more successful.
Yeah, look, just with Kohli first, I think he's one of a kind. There's not too many players like Kohli that have played the game, period, in any format of the game. And he's not looking at it from a point of view like 99.9% of players will be thinking about it. Oh gosh, I'm only on a ball. What happens if I get out? He's not thinking about getting out. It's the last thing in his mind. He's way ahead of the game. He's thinking, right, okay, now I've got this foundation, I can put some big blocks on it. So that's how he's thinking. So completely different. With regards to Rohit Sharma, I wouldn't be concerned about Rohit Sharma. He's got his own way of playing, and he's got a remarkable career of his own and his own style of doing things. He tends to, I would have thought, ignite a little bit earlier in his innings and take the game on. He hasn't caught fire yet, but he will.
I think what Tom says is fascinating, because I wonder if you could sort of testify to that maybe 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 batters, if they're 32 of 30, would be thinking, this is pressure, and whereas Kohli's got a bigger plan. You can speak from experience too.
Yeah, of course. It can happen, and I think often happens to a lot of batters who bat almost run a ball. You're always thinking of, am I putting too much pressure on the team? More than the outside noise, what kind of an impact it's having on my team at that point in time. So I think that can genuinely happen. But I think, that what is different about Virat is that when he's in that kind of a situation, he's thinking, okay, I've really laid, like you said, laid a solid foundation here. It's time to just build massively from here. And in that time, even those 25, 30 balls that he's actually playing, he's not just playing them with a preconceived notion of, okay, run a ball. He's getting very aware as to what his opportunities will be post that 30 balls. Then he knows, okay, this area to this bowler. I know exactly what I'm going to do, how I'm going to execute it. And that's when you see the master at play.
And I think because we see the second half of his innings, a lot of us think, well, why doesn't he do that in the first half? You know, so you imagine what the outcome, but that's that's nearly impossible.
So I think I have an answer to that. He doesn't. When someone like Virat Kohli is batting there, the opposition team is always under a lot of pressure. You want to get rid of the guy early. If you don't get rid of him early, and he understands that, and he knows that if I'm here, I'm always going to put pressure on them. I'm always going to run my twos really hard. I'm going to put pressure on the fielders. So it's always good for my team if I'm batting here, right? And I think he understands that factor really well, and that he uses that to his advantage.
All right, well, it's like the movie. You have to get the second half only if the first half happens. Not sure you can switch the two around. But today, was there perhaps even a stronger case for Kohli to play this way, given he had people going guns at the top and in the middle. Surya kept the momentum going, but let's give it up for KL Rahul, who has stood up amidst an enormous amount of conversation around him. What was different today, Tom?
I don't think there's a lot different. I saw him bat like that probably 2 weeks ago in Brisbane in a warm-up game.
Yeah.
You know, we all know he's a special player in his own right, and to me that innings was very similar to the one I witnessed live a couple of weeks ago in Brisbane. You know, and I'm just so happy for him because you know I just felt there's unnecessary pressure and noise around him, and you know if India are going to win this World Cup, you need more than just Kohli and Surya scoring runs. You need KL and Rohit. You need everyone contributing.
Ravi?
Absolutely. As in, I don't think anyone's ever doubted his ability, and I never felt like he was out of sorts. Only felt like mentally maybe he didn't have enough clarity. But when I last spoke to him, he said, you know, I have clarity in my mind and I know what I need to do. And we saw what he could do if he just batted 10 balls, and he gave that respect to the bowlers in the first couple of overs. And then when he got in, we got to see KL Rahul at his best.
157 after 18, and they got the 27 at the end. You think those are important couple of hits? Kohli has done his thing. Ashwin as well, just to take India past 180. Otherwise, it doesn't look a bad batting surface.
No, it doesn't look a bad batting surface at all. But I think it's a new ball surface. I think it gets better to bat on as in once the shine's gone. And I think that's exactly what the Indian batters did. Saw off the new ball, and then after that they piled on the runs. And Ashwin coming to the fore when. You know, the back end of his T20.
Become a master of hitting the shot over mid-off.
He has, hasn't he?
Right at the end.
Yeah.
It's so easy. Assessment of Bangladesh's bowling, Tom? Tashkent Ahmed going at less than 4. The others struggled.
I thought he bowled really well, and I can understand why Shakib Al Hasan bowled him out, because he recognised he needed wickets, and he is by far his most threatening bowler. He beat the bat a lot as well, to give him credit. I thought he bowled exceptionally well. He's unlucky. The bowling was mixed. You know, when you're bowling 3 no balls at this level in World Cup cricket, it's unacceptable. You know, it really is unacceptable. You know, you're never going to gain any sort of momentum in a match. A couple of mishaps in the field as well, which doesn't help them either. You know, they'll be probably looking that, oh gosh, you know, they've ended up 180. We probably should have kept them to 150.
Yeah, so the thing with no balls is it takes off a lot of pressure from the opposition and puts enormous amounts of pressure on your own team.
I mean, you can imagine a KL Rahul who's under fire, just gets that one free hit, even though he's hit one. Just makes all the difference in the world,
it's
I
happy
guess.
birthday, isn't it? It really is.
It is.
All right, so Bangladesh have been kind to India. At the same time, full credit to the way Rahul, Kohli and even Surya Kumar Yadav batted. They've got 184. Are we expecting an easy win, Tom Moody, for India here, or is this going to be close?
I think it's going to be an easy win, because I think both Arshdeep and Bhuvi up front are going to be a real handful with that new ball.
Let's not forget how economical
Mohammad Shami has been.
Shami has been. He's been incredible, hasn't he, in this World Cup? And I think it's going to be an easy win for India. Okay,
we pick up the chat after that then. Thank you, Uthappa and Tom Moody. More from them at the end of this game. So join us then on Maruti Suzuki Presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Timeout.